This is the Borla S-Type single exhaust system with the black chrome tips, fitting 2019 to 2024 6.4 liter Ram 2500s. A solid increase in volume over the factory system, along with an extremely nice 304 stainless steel build. Now this kit will deliver that single side exit configuration with the unique black chrome tip, dumping right behind that passenger side rear tire, along with mandrel bent 3.5-inch tubing, all backed by a lifetime warranty for around the $1,100 price point. All right, getting into the sound and features you can expect out of the S-Type from Borla. Well, listen, the sound, it's a good one, at least in my humble opinion here, guys. The Stinger, or S-Type as it's commonly known as, that muffler is gonna deliver a good amount of volume here, but at the same time, it's not too loud, it's not too crazy, but it's still gonna maintain a nice deep tone out of the 6.4, and that's maybe one of my favorite things about this particular system. So, breaking out my tried and true Wake the Neighbor scale, I have the S-Type coming in at a soft 4 out of 5 on my 1 to 5, or again, 1 to Wake the Neighbor scale. Regardless, it's a massive improvement over the factory exhaust in every single way, very aggressive, but at the same time, it's not going to piss everybody in your neighborhood off. Now, if you did want to do that and you absolutely hate your neighbors, well, you might want to check out Borla's Attack system instead. That is going to be the company's loudest offering out of their 3. But regardless, the Borla here again does do a great job of delivering a lot of bark, but with zero drone on the inside of the cab while cruising. And for all of those reasons, again, the really nice sound quality, the right amount of volume, zero drone, this is an absolute no-brainer for one of my recommendations for just about any truck or car out there. Now, another reason why truck owners might dig Borla systems is the overall quality of not only the build, but also the materials used. In this case, you are looking at that T304 grade stainless steel throughout for things like the massive 3.5-inch mandrel bent tubing, the signature free-flowing S-Type muffler here, which again is responsible for shaping that muscular tone. And then finally, everything is gonna exit out that really large 5-inch tip in black chrome. And again, this is in the factory location, so right behind that passenger side rear tire. Now, the 304 grade stainless, shouldn't have to tell you guys, but I will anyway, it is the best material you are going to encounter here in the exhaust category. Definitely is going to be the best at preventing corrosion over the years, and Borla is so confident in their materials and their system that they do back it with their signature 1,000,000-mile warranty. Now, all of those pros do come at a cost, as the Borla stuff is typically going to be a bit higher in the spectrum of pricing here on the site, and the same can be said for the S-Type in this video. I would say around that $1,100 price point, give or take, guys, which again does make this a more premium option, but I'm always a big fan of you get what you pay for, and this is a perfect example of that. All right, last but not least, let's talk about the install. And the site's gonna call this a solid 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you a couple of hours or so to complete from start to finish. But now, to give you a better idea of how this one might go down in the garage or driveway at home, let's throw it out to the garage for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
For this install, you will need an impact, a ratchet, a 15mm socket, hanger removal tool, a dead blow hammer, some lubricant, a pry bar, and also not shown here is a pole jack and a jack and jack stands. What's up, folks? Today we're going to be doing an exhaust on our Ram, so let's get started. Alright, so to get started, we have the truck in the air, and we're going to need to remove our factory exhaust system first. Now we're removing from the factory resonator back, and it's held on by a few hangers and some slip joint clamps. So we're going to loosen up those clamps to give us a little bit more wiggle room. We're going to pull our tail section first, and then move on to our resonated section. So we've got a 15mm socket on our impact to loosen up this clamp on the resonator outlet. Loosen up this clamp. Now, one thing to take note of is a lot of times these new trucks, especially the Rams, have a coating on all the hardware to prevent rust and corrosion. You might need to scrape some of that off to get the proper size socket on, which again is a 15mm. We've got that loose. We'll go back and get our hanger out of the isolator. So now we're going to get after our hanger that's in our factory isolator back here at the OEM muffler. Now, you do not have a lot of room to get in here. So you're going to have to kind of fish your hanger tool between your muffler and the spare tire and get that on. If you're having too much trouble with that, we'll grab a pry bar and try to work this loose that way. Now we've got a pry bar in here. This is a little bit easier to at least get this moving. work this all the way to the end. You want to try not to damage this isolator while you're doing this, but again, this is pretty tight quarters. Now we're going to work our tail section and muffler out. It should be freed up a good bit. You want to try to work this as best you can by hand, if possible. If it doesn't want to come, bring back that pry bar. And once you've got it to the point where it's coming off of the resonator, pull that off and fish that out. Now that we have our tail section off, we're going to work on our factory resonator. Now we've got a pole jack under the back end of the resonator to help support it, and we've got to loosen this clamp as well. Again, this one's held on by a clamp with a 15 mil nut. We've got our 15 mil socket on a ratchet this time. You can't really get an impact in here. I'll loosen this up, ratchet. Now again, these are pretty well coated from the factory to prevent corrosion. You're gonna have to fight with that a little. Get that nice and loose. There's also corrosion on the thread, so you want to be careful of that. Make sure it comes out with the nut. Next, we're going to remove the two isolators at the rear of the resonator. So we've got our hanger removal tool. It might be easier to get them off from the top side, from the chassis side, rather than the exhaust side. Pop these off. Now, this side also has a ground that you'll need to pop off of the hanger. It just comes right off like so. Work this one off. Now we can get our forward isolator off of our hangers. This one you may have to work from the top as well. Pretty tight quarters. Now we're going to work our resonator off, and we have sprayed some penetrating lubricant at the slip joint. It's going to make things a little bit easier, especially if this has never been off before. You just want to work this. You may have to lower your pole jack. Now if this thing is being really stubborn, you can take a dead blow mallet. We're going to smack the front of our resonator and get this persuaded to move. Once you get close to having this off, you definitely want to be careful. This is heavy. And we can bring that down and out. Alrighty guys, so now we're ready to start installing our new setup. Now we're going to start with our new resonator slash muffler, and what we're going to do first is put our clamp onto our factory mid pipe. That way we don't forget it. You want to make sure the nut for it is going to be at an accessible location. Make things easy on yourself. So we've got that on. We're going to slip our muffler slash resonator onto our mid pipe, and then we'll install the isolators that we removed from the factory exhaust back in place. And we'll fish this into position. We've still got our pole jack that's going to greatly assist us in this. Get that set up onto the pole jack. I have to raise this up a little bit. Get this lined up. Get this fully seated. Now remember, there is a dowel at the top of your factory mid pipe. You want to line that up like so. It's going to keep everything in position. We can slide our clamp over here. Now we're not going to tighten this down fully just yet. Set that up. We'll install our isolators and make sure this is sitting right. And we're just going to snug this clamp down for now. Now we're going to bring back those factory isolators. Slide that into position. Get those on. Got this one. We'll also reinstall our two in the rear of our muffler resonator as well. Get our other isolators in position. Now we did add some lubricant to these. It's definitely helpful to aid in getting them back in position. Next we'll get our other isolator back on. Use our pole jack to raise this into position. And once you have this one back on, you want to remember to reinstall that down strap, put that in place. Next we can install our muffler outlet slash over axle pipe. So we're going to grab another one of our slip joint clamps, slide that over, get this up over the axle, get this lined up with our muffler outlet, get that into place. At this point you may have to drop your pole jack back down. It is supported now. Make sure this gets fully seated. Again, we'll have that clamp in position. not tighten down just yet. Now first you want to make sure you have your exhaust adjusted to where it's not hitting anything and your tip comes out where you like it. And we can tighten up all of our clamps. So we're going to start with the one for our tail section, and we're going to use a 15 mil socket, impact. You want these to come to the very end of the slip joint. Next we can get our tail section in place. So we've already got our clamp slid up over our over axle pipe. You want to make sure that's on first so you don't forget it. Slide this into position. Now we also have our factory isolator onto our new hanger rod. You want to put that on first. Get that lined up with our slip joint. You want to get that seated. And we'll reinstall our isolator onto our body side hanger mounts. Now we'll pull this back so we have some room. Now this one is a little bit tricky to line up. Make sure your pipe doesn't come out of your slip joint. Get that lined up. Now we can tighten down our over axle to muffler outlet. And lastly, we'll tighten down our muffler inlet to our factory mid-pipe.
Alrighty folks, that wraps up our review and install of our Borla S-Type single exhaust system with black chrome tip and side exit for your 19 to 24 6.4 liter Ram 2500.
Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.